Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anne Marie, and today I'm going to discuss the 10 Things I Love About You, Last Girl Ghosted by Lisa Unger. This is a no spoilers book review, so don't worry about me revealing any plot twists or ruining any surprise endings. The whole point of this is to give you an inside peek into the book. So here we go. Last Girl Ghosted takes us inside the online dating scene, where people meet each other using dating apps. This is a thriller, however, so the emphasis isn't on people meeting and falling in love. The emphasis is on the deadly cat and mouse game that results when the women in the book connect with the wrong guy, an online predator with a dark past. The first thing I love about Last Girl Ghosted is Wren Greenwood. She's the narrator, and most of the story is told in the first person from her point of view. She is a freelance writer and a podcaster who claims her superpower is listening, although she also claims she's always been better at giving advice than taking it. Although she had a traumatic childhood, Wren now lives in New York City in a Brooklyn Heights brownstone townhouse that she purchased in a foreclosure auction and that she has been fixing for years. Although she has trust issues, she quickly falls in love with Adam Harper, the boyfriend she met using a dating app. Their relationship forms the basis for the plot of the book, Last Girl Ghosted, with the warning on the cover to think twice before you swipe. So you can probably guess where this relationship is headed. Once again, this is not a romance novel, it's a thriller. The second thing I love about this book is Jax. She is Wren's best friend who always has her back. Smart, funny, strong, Jax is usually the voice of reason. She is suspicious of Adam and thinks his relationship with Wren is moving way too quickly, so she advises Wren to slow it down with this guy she barely knows. In chapter 16, we learn that Jax's real name is Jasmine, but she calls herself Jax because she doesn't like the idea of being named after a Disney princess. Jax is a fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Christmas rom-coms. And ultimately, she's the type of genuine friend everyone needs in life. The third thing I love about Last Girl Ghosted is that part one has all the feels of New York City. Wren first meets Adam in a crowded bar in East Village. The two of them walk past the shuttered shops of Chinatown and end up on the Brooklyn Bridge. This is Wren describing New York City in chapter 3. A river of traffic moves slowly in each direction. Horns bleating pointlessly, intermittently, manhole covers rattling, buses hissing to a stop. A taxi driver shouts angrily out his window in a language I don't understand. As I stand on the busy city sidewalk, maybe 100 people, more, every color, nationality, gender variation, a beautiful chaotic mosaic of the world we live in, sweep past me. I let the energy wash over me, listen to 3 different languages being spoken. Shabby or stylish, rich or poor, conservative or wild, a mingle of everything a person can be. That's what I love the most about this city, its acceptance of all the layers of humanity. The fourth thing I love about Last Girl Ghosted is the way chapter 3 ends. After several dates, Adam, the guy Wren met on an online dating app, asks Wren to tell him something she's never told anyone else. She does. And then he ghosts her shortly thereafter, which leaves us as readers wondering, what did she tell him? The fifth thing I love about this book are the chapters titled Then. These chapters give us insight into Wren's past, specifically her childhood. In part 1 of the story, there are 3 chapters titled this way: chapters 6, 11, and 14. After reading these 3 chapters, we realize that what happened in Wren's past is affecting her current life, but we're not sure how it all ties together just yet. The sixth thing I love about Last Girl Ghosted is the book's 3-part format. Ghosted is the title of part 1. Following a prologue that draws us into the story, most of the chapters explain Wren's current life in New York City. Rewilding is the title of part 2. This portion of the book delves into Wren's past and explains her traumatic childhood. Part 3 is titled I Am the Storm. This part ties it all together in a nail-biting conclusion. The seventh thing I love about this book is the advice column known as Dear Birdie. It started as a blog, but after growing in popularity, became a column in the New York Chronicle. Later, it became a podcast. In Chapter 7, we get to read both a letter that was sent to Dear Birdie seeking advice, as well as the response. Various topics addressed by the advice column are scattered throughout the story, and a few more letters are printed in Chapter 19. Real-life issues that made me question how I would respond to them. Dear Birdie then admits that the hard part about responding to these issues is accepting the difference between those she can help and those she can't. The person behind Dear Birdie remains anonymous to the public. Bailey Kirk is number 8 on my list. He's a private investigator licensed by the state of New York who shows up on Wren's doorstep in Chapter 8. A former NYPD homicide detective, he has been hired by the father of a young woman who has been missing for 9 months. In Chapter 17, we learn that Bailey Kirk doesn't like questions without answers or items that were lost and could not be found. He's relentless in his pursuit of answers, especially when it involves one of his cases, which makes him a successful private detective. The ninth thing I love about this book is Jones Cooper. We are first introduced to his character in Chapter 29. He is a retired cop who now specializes in finding missing persons. In Chapter 40, Bailey Kirk thinks of Jones Cooper as the cop, the soldier, the first responder. He was the guy at the scene who knew instinctively what was right and what to do, and he did it without question or regard for himself. In Chapter 51, Jones Cooper notices something in an old newspaper clipping that proves crucial to finding someone who is currently missing. And finally, the 10th thing I love about Last Girl Ghosted is the Hollows, a quaint fictional town located in upstate New York that author Lisa Unger uses in many of her books. It is first mentioned in Chapter 15. We learn more about the Hollows and how it fits into the story in Part 2, specifically Chapter 20, when it's described in the following way. The Hollows is a picture postcard of a town, one of those places where people from the city come for the weekend to visit pumpkin patches and pick apples and drink cider, watch the leaves perform their wild color show of gold and amber, flame red and bright orange. Quaint, they might call it. Peaceful, bucolic. But there's another side to the Hollows, a side that a casual weekend visitor might not see. Bad things happen there. What kind of bad things? Well, that's a part of Wren's history that makes Last Girl Ghosted an unsettling, compelling read that draws you in and keeps you guessing. If you've read the book and would like to add to my list of things to love, please do so in the comments. Until next time, take care, be well, and happy reading.